Because of what happened to me, everything I do is almost semi-permanent. Like when people come in and ask me for a heavy makeup look, I say no.
Recently, I started offering saline removal, and it's not because it's a service that I love. I just feel that some people get into a situation where they have no other alternative.
As soon as you did that first, you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good. And then my whole body just went like, this is gonna be so good. And my whole life has changed since then.
When you look in the mirror and you're not happy with what you're looking at, but you know the solution may have some negative effects. And let's just talk about some of the possible outcomes that wouldn't be ideal. The main one is, welcome to the Faded Podcast. Today we have Miss Yani Sordo. Yani is a permanent makeup and tattoo artist in Vancouver, BC, actually outside of Vancouver in Langley. Mm-hmm. And she also does a little bit of laser tattoo removal as well. So
just a little.
Yeah, so we have Yani on today. She's going to share her experience with permanent makeup removal. And Yani first came to us as a client. She had some lip blush that she was looking to remove. And yeah, we've gotten pretty friendly over the years, and we've had a pretty long journey with this permanent makeup removal. So would you like to kind of share your story? How did you find us, and what made you decide to do the permanent makeup removal?
Yeah, so hello.
Hello.
I am so excited, and thank you for being your first interview in your podcast. I've been watching all the episodes that you've been doing, and they're so great. Like, they teach so much, and they're actually great because I can send to my own clients so they can learn about laser removal for tattoos or permanent makeup even. Which is the whole point why we are doing this interview. So I found you through an acquaintance. I was nervous when I first got my lip blush tattoo. It went really, really, really dark. It was really saturated, but I didn't know I could remove it with laser because the taboo is laser makes the lips black.
And that does happen on occasion. It definitely depends on the type of pigment that was put into your skin. And that's usually one of the first things that I mention to anybody who comes in to get any type of permanent makeup removed. They should know that the possible outcomes may not be what they were looking for. So
I remember that's one of the things that you explained to me. We spent quite a while actually explaining the whole process. You were very, very careful to explain each thing that can go wrong. And you even suggested that we can do one little spot and then not do it at all and go see. Because I was really nervous.
I do remember you came in, and not only were you nervous, but you were a little bit traumatized about kind of what happened with your lips leading up to the time when you decided to get laser.
Yeah.
So not only was I trying to be careful with the current situation, but I was also aware of kind of like what you've been through and how traumatizing that was. So I didn't want to make it worse. And that's usually what's happened when people come to us to get removal done. They've had some sort of experience that didn't work out the way they wanted to in most cases. And when that happens, it's our responsibility to be careful with people and to make sure that anybody who comes in to remove a tattoo should know what the possible outcomes are, even if they're not going to be great, or even if it's a very low percentage. Mm-hmm. You should still know what could happen, because the worst thing that could happen at this point in your process would be a surprise, like an unpleasant surprise.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But you know what? Just talking to you, it made it so easy. Like, I trusted because I knew you were gonna be taking care of whatever was gonna happen. And as soon as you did that first, you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good. And then my whole body just went like, this is gonna be so good. And my whole life has changed since then. My lips are coming back to being good and healthy, and I'm more confident. Because before I was a little bit more shy and my lips were really wrinkly, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so excited.
So, can you explain exactly what happened leading up to the point when you decided to come into Studio Kiku for laser removal?
Yeah, so I've had my lips tattooed for, I'd say, about a year. Like when they first got tattooed, I was not a permanent makeup artist yet. This was before I was a permanent makeup artist.
Can I ask you a question? Why did you decide to get lip blush tattoo in the first place? Did you have some type of issue with your lips as they were before?
Actually, no. But so many years, I found this page where they were doing lip blush. Now, in that time, it was like very new, barely anybody did it. And I just fell in love because I don't like wearing makeup. But
Okay.
I do like to wear lips, but my lips somehow never retained any color, which I think is a pretty general problem for any lady. So I just wanted to keep lip blush, and then it's like I kept postponing it and postponing it because it can be quite costly if you're not ready. And then eventually I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then when I got it done, and at that moment when I got it done, I didn't know that it's not supposed to look like that. I'm like, well, it doesn't look like other lips I've seen, but maybe it'll improve. And it was just like really purple and very, like with bruises and things. Later, I found out that you told me, oh no, those are pockets of a lot of ink, too much ink, remember?
I do remember you came in and you had quite patchy lips, and they were dark in some spots and not dark in the other spots. So, what I'm thinking may have happened is the pigment was put in and not all of it retained. Some of it was maybe a little bit deeper, more saturated, and
Yeah.
then other spots were not, and it kind of fell out. But it left you with like a bruised, kind of purpley looking lip.
Yeah.
Now, was the goal with adding that type of color, was it to try to neutralize some pigment that was already put in, or was it to try to
No,
darken your
so
lips up?
yeah, no. So I asked for a normal peachy color. Now, I'm a permanent makeup artist now, and I still don't understand what happened or what she tried to do. Obviously, it was the wrong ink for what I was asking for. But I truly think it was just too much in that same spot. So I just kept going deeper. Maybe the ink had too much black in it, too much white in it. And then I went back and she tried to fix it, but it just adds more to the mess. So I would suggest if something like that happens to anybody like me, don't add more to the problem. You just come and get it lasered off.
That's what I normally recommend as well, but it's hard because we're in the business of removing tattoos.
Yeah.
So when people hear that, sometimes they're like, "Oh, you just want to get us in there to
Absolutely not.
to,
When
to
when
get some business."
it's
So
better to start light and then you can add more, which is what I always tell my clients. It's always better to have like a nice smooth canvas, and later you can add more color rather than back too much color in, and then there is no way back.
So you got lip blush tattooed and you immediately didn't like it, but you thought, okay, I'm going to go back, get a touch up, and hopefully we can correct the problem with this second session. And then after that second session, what happened exactly? Did you go home, look in the mirror, and were you even more disappointed than you were?
Actually, immediately after, it looked like the problem was solved. It looked so pretty, but then eventually that color that was put on top of that purple, it just was gone.
So it was a lighter color that was used to hopefully conceal that darker
Yeah,
color?
yeah, I think so. And then,
Yeah.
but eventually that black just kept popping up, and now it's like black with yellow, orange. So it's just a big mess.
So yeah, kind of a I remember you came in with a coral color.
Yeah.
And if you put a coral over top of a dark purple or any type of black, it may look good right away. And that's usually what happens in tattooing. It'll look good right away, but over time, that darker color will just win. It just shows through
Absolutely.
that lighter color, and there's no chance that that light color is going to
Yeah.
defeat the darker.
Yeah, it happens with a lot of artists with brows. They try to do a cover up. It's just not gonna stay. It's not gonna look good. It's gonna look chalky, overdone, oversaturated, and it's gonna be really, really, really hard to remove, especially with the yellow underneath. Like you have another podcast talking about the yellow. It's like impossible.
Yeah, it is. So we know what happened with the color of your lips. Now, what about the texture of your lips? Did that change when you got lip blush tattoo as well?
It did.
And what happened exactly with your texture?
It did. So my lips used to look youthful and more full. I've always
Youthful?
youthful.
I think that's. Let me translate that into. That was your Cuban English coming through. That would be translated to youthful. So you had youth.
Pardon my English.
That's okay. That's okay. So you had youthful looking lips before,
Yes.
and then when you got them tattooed, did it change the texture?
Yeah, so because they got swollen so much the first time she tattooed them, they just lost all of the elasticity and instead they just wrinkled. And because there was so much ink, it went to that chalky, heavy. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was just like really thick skin. Like
Okay.
nothing would make them hydrated, nothing would make them soft until I started getting laser. And then it was almost like a relief to the lips. I think all that ink was just so heavy that was
Yeah.
holding onto the skin of the lips.
Okay. So you came in, and let's just kind of let the listeners know the process. So you came in, we did the consultation. I warned you that, hey, this could turn out worse than what you're coming in with right now.
That's exactly what you said.
Yeah. And then did we do a test spot? Normally, I do recommend when people come in with lip blush that we do a test spot.
Yeah.
The one thing about test spots, and I have explained this in previous episodes, is that just because you do a test spot in one area of a tattoo, even if it's an eyebrow or a lip, that doesn't mean that the whole lip was tattooed consistently that way. Or the brow. You could do a test spot on the tail of a brow, but that doesn't mean that that same exact pigment is tattooed throughout the entire
You
brow.
explained that as well.
So that's where I always get a little nervous with permanent makeup removal. Even when you come in, like that situation, yeah, we can do a test spot or even two spots, but that doesn't mean that it's consistently tattooed all the way through. So it doesn't give you 100% accurate kind of test.
Result. Yeah, it's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
It's
So
true.
so you're not going to know what is definitely going to happen. It may give you a good idea, but it doesn't mean that that's definitely going to be the outcome in the entire lip.
It's true.
But we did the test spot and everything seemed okay.
Yeah, yeah. So what we did was you suggested, oh, let's just do one spot, and then if everything goes well, I can keep going until everything changes. So you were very careful, very slow, and then you just kept updating me on what was happening. And thankfully, everything went really well, but it made me very calm that you knew exactly. You gave me a lot of information, and it was my like I took the decision on, okay, let's go ahead with the whole thing.
Yeah. After laying out all the possible outcomes, you
Yes.
decided, hey, I want to try it.
Yeah.
And then I know we must have discussed this worst case scenario. If we do a test spot and it turns dark and it doesn't go back to being light again, then we must have discussed that there's the possibility of doing saline removal.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did say that. Yeah.
And that's usually what we do. I try not to get into situations like that where, I don't want to do saline removal because I really don't like that service. But
Yeah.
in
It
some,
can be traumatizing too.
it is. And it depends on the person doing it, obviously. And
Yeah.
I do know how to tattoo, so I don't think it's going to, cause extreme scar tissue. But tattooing the lips to try to dig out pigment or even eyebrows.
Tell me about it.
It's not fun. So I always want to avoid any type of saline if I can, but that's always kind of in the back pocket where if we run into a situation where the laser doesn't work or if it makes the situation worse, then we can try it. And
Yeah.
I think that's actually what we're going to do today after this episode.
I'm also so excited.
Yeah, so let's just talk about the process, and then we'll talk about kind of what led us up to today and why we're doing saline. How many sessions did we do of laser?
We did two.
We did 2 sessions of laser. After the first session, did you find that it lightened a lot?
Oof, a lot. Like it took all the dark out. Like I was left with, it almost looked pretty. It looked like peachy pink color, but I still wanted all that color off. I wanted no memory of what happened left.
Okay, so you had the dark color, and then over top of that, there was a layer of light, like corally. So I guess it would be like a red and maybe some yellow and some
Yeah.
white in there.
Yeah.
And that was put over top of the dark.
Yes.
So when you came in and we lasered it, all of the dark came out, but it left behind that corally color.
It did.
Right? Okay. And then the second time you came in, same thing. We lightened up that dark even more, but it left behind the coral. Okay. And
But the coral was like even lighter. It was like a whole lot lighter. And then it started showing a shade of that yellow. And then it's been, what, 8 months since we last did our session. And now they're a lot yellow.
okay, so it left behind the yellow. And we find that happens a lot with all permanent makeup. If there is that certain type of yellow in there that's just so stubborn and even resistant to the laser, we find that the yellow just won't budge in some cases. And I guess that's what happened with you. So we were able to lighten up all the dark, or most of the dark, and then a lot of the red came out, but it left behind that yellowy like hue, which
Yeah.
I guess that can kind of be unattractive if you don't have any lipstick or do you call it
Yeah,
lipstick now? Lip gloss.
The lip gloss,
Okay.
the lip glow balm.
Okay. Whatever you guys call it these days, I don't know.
Yes, it tends to make me look sick. You know, when you're like,
The jaundice look.
yeah, like the yellowy look. And I'm not super yellow. I'm like a little tan, but because of the lips, when I don't have any color, it makes me look on the sick side. So
Sick, not in a good sick way. Like,
not
not like
not in a
sick.
fun way.
Yeah. Okay. So the goal now is to lift that yellow, and we'll try that with the saline, and we'll do a nice gentle pass. The way I like to do saline is I don't like to dig into the skin and cause damage. I want to just kind of tickle the surface of it, see if we can break some of that pigment up without causing severe trauma to the skin. So it may work, it may not, but I can guarantee you I'm not going to cause any damage to your tissue.
I'm confident of that. Like, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have agreed to do it. In fact, I was the one that messaged you about it. Like, do you offer saline removal? Because I know you've done it before. So I thought maybe that would be a good solution. Because I can't tattoo myself. And really, after what happened to me, I don't trust anybody else to tattoo my lips.
Yeah. So recently I started offering saline removal here. And it's not because it's a service that I love. I just feel that some people get into a situation where laser's not going to work and they have no other alternative. Like, what's the other solution besides doing saline? So I am able to do it. I don't feel like it's a difficult service to offer. It's actually very easy. You just kind of, it's just like tattooing, except there's no pigment. So
It's going to be fun.
you can't really make any mistakes.
Hopefully they'll look pink after just from dragging the needle.
They will. They'll be nice and plump and swollen. So one of the downfalls, and I did just talk about this in my most recent episode, it was actually laser tattoo removal versus saline removal, and why in some cases we'll recommend saline and why in most cases we won't. Let's see what happens. We're gonna go in there. I'm not gonna make you any guarantees like this is definitely gonna work, but what I will guarantee is that I'm not gonna cause any trauma to your skin that's gonna be permanent damage.
Perfect. That sounds good
Yeah.
to me.
And yeah, if you've had a similar, I'm sure there's a ton of people out there who have had similar situations where they went in to get some type of permanent makeup done, whether it's lip blush or eyebrows. I've seen freckles. A lot of times we see scalp micropigmentation too, where, a person goes and they get scalp micropigmentation and then they'll try to fix it by blending in things or even concealing it with flesh tone pigment instead of just trying to do laser. So I do think that a lot of people are getting hip to the scene now when it comes to like knowing that laser is a possibility, but I don't think everybody knows.
I sure didn't know. Like I said, I was afraid to do laser on my lips because what the information out there is not accurate anymore. Like things have changed. There is better technology. There is better technicians. People more prepared. People more educated about the topic and how to do it properly, like yourself. So that's why I took the decision to come here. But a lot of people don't know that it's quite achievable to do a laser and remove a lot of that oversaturated ink that doesn't look good.
I think also a lot of people are aware that there are some risks involved with getting lip blush removal. And some of the risks may outweigh what they're dealing with in their current situation. So that's a tough spot to be in when you look in the mirror and you're not happy with what you're looking at, but the solution may have some negative effects that would outweigh having the lip blush
Yeah,
or the tattoo in the first place.
that's true.
And let's just talk about some of the possible outcomes that wouldn't be ideal. The main one is oxidation. So any pink pigment, well, most pink pigment would have white in it. And white, as most people know, and if you don't know, now you do, white, when it's hit by the laser, has a tendency of darkening and oxidizing and darkening. And in some cases, it will lighten up after a little bit of time, and in other cases, it will not. So that's the risk that people take when they come in to get laser, is that they don't know if their pigment's going to darken or if it's not. We've had several clients who have come in who have gone to other laser technicians or other studios to get their lip blush removed, and they just have a black ring around their lips. And we've even had a client who not only had black pigment around her lips, but she had severe scar tissue from somebody trying to remove it with saline. So not only did she have the negative experience with the laser, but then she had one with the saline as well. And, some things are irreversible.
Yeah.
When you have extreme scar tissue and you have pigment encapsulated in that scar tissue, it's very difficult to get that pigment out, if not impossible.
Yeah.
And this particular client, she was flying in every 8 to 12 weeks to try to break up that scar tissue with the laser, because our laser actually does that a little bit too, where it can break down the scar tissue. And if that scar tissue is broken down, it may release those pigment particles. But that's a lot of trauma to your lips, and that's a lot of time and
Yeah.
money that you're spending and not knowing if you're going to get the results that you're looking for. So
Yeah.
it's really unfortunate. I wish artists would start using pigments that were a little bit more laser friendly. And, if you market something as semi-permanent, which a lot of people say, this is semi-permanent makeup. Okay, so what makes it semi-permanent then? Is that a true representation of what's being put in your body, or is it permanent? And when we say permanent, I mean permanent even to the point where the laser won't remove it. That's
That's pretty
extreme.
permanent.
That's extreme. So if it was a perfect world, I think artists would start getting kind of changing their ways a little bit with, and maybe selecting pigment that was a little bit more laser friendly. And if you knew for a fact, like, I'm going to put this pigment in your skin, but if there comes a time when you don't like it, we can easily laser this off without it having any negative impact on your life,
Yeah, it's
then
true.
then it would be a great service, I think.
Yeah, that's why because of what happened to me, everything I do is almost semi-permanent. I can't say permanent because I'm using different inks, so I'm not using the ink that I was taught to use to tattoo. I use ink that are like brighter red, so they have less white. So I know that's gonna be easy to be removed, and inks that are not too mixed with yellows and oranges, because I know that's gonna also not be easy to be removed. And you have to work lighter and apply less ink. Like when people come in and ask me for a heavy makeup look, I say no. You can say no if you're not comfortable or if you know it's not going to be good for them. Oh, they want to go with somebody else, fine. But it's not, I don't want to cause that to them.
The downside to that is you're going to make less money.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but hopefully people will find out that you're somebody who cares not only about the business but about the clients.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I think another downside to what you were talking about with applying pigment later or using pigment that's not as
Heavily.
saturated.
Yeah.
Probably another downside to that would be that people would not see long lasting results, and they may have to come in for multiple touch ups over the years as opposed to somebody who just hammers in pigment that's never going to fade. So
Yeah.
there is
I'm okay with that downside. I I can take the hit. It's no problem because I don't want to do a job that I know for certain is gonna look chalky, it's gonna look heavy, and it's not gonna look classic and beautiful in a few years on the road. I'd rather that do something that's gonna last 3 4 years, and then they come back. They can, you know what? Even they can come back for one touch up a year. It's more affordable, and it's gonna look so good on their skin.
and the trade-off is if they decide at some point that they want to part ways with their
It's gone.
permanent makeup,
Yeah.
then they can laser it off, and they know that they won't have any negative impact on
Exactly.
the way that they look, because it after all, it is your face. It's not like it's a tattoo on your leg or something where you can cover it with a
Exactly.
big sock. It's right in
Exactly.
front and center on your face, so there's a huge responsibility for all permanent makeup artists.
Yeah, I always tell my clients, I'm harmonizing your face and putting it together. I'm not making a highlight. If you put too much color on one thing, but people are gonna be looking just at your lips or just at your brows or just at your head. Like, that's not the whole point. The whole point is to bring it together so you wake up in the morning, feel good, and you're ready to go. That's it.
Yeah. So hopefully at some point in this permanent makeup industry, one of the pigment manufacturers steps up and says, hey, this is a product now that is actually semi-permanent. Meaning, and when I say semi-permanent, I don't mean that it's just going to fade over time, but in the event that you decide you want to laser your permanent makeup, it's possible without any side effects
Or any leftover ink. That would be so wonderful.
yeah, that would be great. And I think there's a huge gap in this industry right now. There's a space where one of these pigment manufacturers could slide in there and say, okay,
Hopefully, it'll be soon when I'm still a permanent makeup
Yeah.
artist.
yeah,
Maybe
you know
you
what?
can make your own line because you have your own line of inks.
Well, I'm good friends with Federico Ferroni, who is the owner of Solid Ink. And we have chatted about this. He
Okay.
did at one point, he had a permanent makeup line, which they did discontinue for a bit, but I think they're going to start back up again.
Oh, they should.
And yeah, that's the same company that I've worked with to create some scalp micropigmentation
Yeah,
pigment.
your ink is great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been using it for the fine line, and they just heal so good. It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Solid Ink is solid.
It's solid. Yeah.
It really is. It's a great pigment. I remember when it first started out. I've seen it grow into what it is today. It's sold all over the world, and it's a very reputable company. So yeah, maybe we can
Okay,
talk.
solid ink. Let's make that happen.
let's talk with Federico. Maybe you
Let's
can
do
give him a
it.
call.
Let's
Yeah,
let's make a looks list by Yani line. Ooh.
yeah, there you go. This was a great conversation. I think it was really informative. I know that there are people out there who are in the exact same position that you are in. Putting your story out there is going to help people not only understand the process, but maybe feel a little bit more confident in getting laser removal. And then, if the laser doesn't work, at least people will know the possible outcomes and also alternative solutions like saline. So let's get on with this saline removal. It won't take long. It'll probably take a half hour or so. We'll do the saline, and let's maybe come back in a little bit and we'll talk about your experience. We'll do a little update and we'll show everyone what you started out with, and then a couple sessions after laser, and then before the saline removal and after, so everyone understands kind of the whole entire process.
I think when people hear my story and see the actual pictures of what it was and what's possible, they're gonna be wide open, like eyes wide open. It's like, oh, that can be me. That's what they need.
Yeah. And that's what this podcast is for. Part of it is, educational. I want everybody to kind of learn a little bit when they watch this, but also entertainment. And, this wasn't like a funny story or anything that's, going to make people, excited about getting something done. But
it could be pretty exciting to see the change and talk about all this. Like you learn a lot. Like your podcasts are very educational and you can learn a lot, especially if you've been on my side. You're going to be watching all of those.
Well, thanks for coming today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
You're a natural on camera, definitely.
Thanks.
Yeah. And we will do the saline. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we will catch you next time on the Faded Podcast.